Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a review and makeup tutorial. Actually, this tutorial, or a tutorial on the face you see right now. Not the foundation or anything, but I'm just doing eyeshadow and lips. But I really wanted to review slash talk about slash give you the insider on this black craft makeup. I don't know if this is super duper new or maybe I'm just now getting my hands on it. But they were super nice and sent this over to me, and I actually just got it today and I opened it up and I wasn't even gonna do a review or tutorial on it, but I started playing around it and I was like, I really feel like I need to be doing, like, filming this, just because I feel like with the packaging being all goth and stuff, like coffins, hello, I don't know, I feel like this is like right up our alley. Plus, the price of these, super affordable. This eyeshadow palette right here, I believe is on sale right now on Hot Topic for like 10 bucks. And then this guy, I think same thing. Full price, it says, I think on the back it says $12.90, which once again is not bad, especially for a full on eyeshadow palette. But anyways, let's just get into the review, shall we? Yes, let's do it. All right, so before I jump into the individual reviews, like each of the products, number one thing I love about both of these products, the packaging wins at life for me. For a $10 to $12 product, this is really, really cool packaging. Typically, you just get the same plain kind of plastic. You know what I mean? It kind of looks the same with every brand. Not this. There's really cool designs. I don't know. They look expensive. If I saw this palette and I was like, oh, it's $50, I'd be like, okay. And then the coffin box that the lip glosses come in, or lipstick slash lip glosses come in. I feel like you can take the lip glosses out and use the box for something else, decoration, you can store stuff in it. I really love this. Totally forgot to mention that these are actually cruelty free as well. It says on the back, it says on the website, so these are cruelty free, just so you know. But anyways, starting with the eyeshadow palette, this is the Night Fiend eyeshadow palette. This is probably my favorite packaging, although I do love the coffin. I don't know, there's something about the moth that just getting me right now, I don't know. On the inside, the mirror, there's a pretty large mirror, and then they have moon phases right here, which is really freaking cool as well. And then each of the individual eyeshadows are a little coffin shape, and I love that as well. So overall, I just think the design rules. Love that. But as far as the shadows themselves, I really love the consistency of the shadows. When I first kind of touched them with my finger, I was like, oh, these feel like they could maybe be chalky. But then you put them on the lid and they're actually really easy to blend. I didn't find they were chalky at all. Typically chalky shadows, when they go on your, or at least my lid, especially the darker shades, they will skid across my lid and leave all these little patches all over. These did not do that at all. The shade selection is amazing, I think. Okay, so the first shade I'm going to swatch is the shade Pendulum. This is a very beigey kind of classic champagne kind of shimmery shade that you can put on your inner quarter highlight. Next up is the shade Silent Film, which is a light tan or dark beige, whatever you want to consider it, type of shade. Next up is the shade Eerie, which is a very light pale yellow. It's got a little bit of a shimmer to it, but you can't really see it right here. Next shade is one of my favorites. It's the shade Amulet. You'll see this in the makeup tutorial. This is a very light gray. It's almost a milky gray color, which I love. Next up is the shade Memento Mori. It is a fuchsia shimmery shade, and I'm showing it here dry, but you'll see here in a second. I'll spray it with some Urban Decay setting spray, and you'll see that it turns into almost a shimmery metallic like fuchsia shade with a little bit of a purple sparkle to it. Next up is one of my favorite shades in the whole palette. This is the shade Marionette. It is a matte, almost grayish, mauve-y lavender shade. Absolutely love a shade. Next is the shade Tarot, which you will see in the makeup tutorial. This will be the main shade that I use, and this swatch does not do it any justice. It is way more blue when I worked with it on the lid. But the first swatch is using the dry shadow, and the second swatch is after spraying it with some setting spray, and you can see that not only does it amp up the pigmentation, but there's also some shimmer to the shadow. Next is the shade Nightshade, which is just a classic matte black. This is not the blackest black shade I've ever used, but it does a great job darkening any of the other shades in the palette. Next up is the shade Moon Phases, which you'll also see in the tutorial. I am doing two swatches here as well, just so you can see what it looks like dry versus sprayed with some setting spray, because this is a very shimmery metallic-y type of shadow. You can really see a huge difference in the shadow and how much brighter it is and how great that shimmer is. Like, I can't even explain the shade. It's like a very stormy kind of grayish blue. It's amazing. Next up is the shade Catacombs, which is a dark kind of wine shade, getting some major vampy vibes here. Just a very kind of matte wine shade. I love it. The next is maybe my favorite shadow of the entire palette. This is the most buttery pigmented shadow in the whole palette. I love it. It is a shade Conjure, and I will show it side by side, dry versus wet, and you will see how buttery smooth that goes on. And finally is the shade Blood Rose, which is a reddish type of orangey shade. You know I'm into this shade. This is making all my grunge dreams come true. This is just more of a matte red orange, living for it. Okay, so my final thoughts on the eyeshadow palette is you have to get this palette for the price. I feel like there's a lot to offer. When you first dip your finger into it and you first start playing with it, you are gonna notice a difference between your $100, $50, $70 eyeshadow palette. It's just not going to pick up shadows the exact same way, but it does not mean that this palette isn't a great palette. This is definitely worth more, in my opinion, than $13 or $10. So that being said, I really do like this palette. I feel like I can't stop talking about it. All right, so next is a little lipstick set that comes in this super amazing coffin box. It has the moth on it, has some crescent moon situation. It's a coffin, so you know I like it. Inside is a mirror, which is also really cool, not to blind you, just to let you know. All right, so on to the good stuff. These are the lip colors that you get. You get 2 highly pigmented lip glosses. You get Death Stare, which is more of a red lip gloss shade. And then you get this Cult Classic, which is more of, I don't really know how to explain it, rose, but kind of corally, but more rose. I'm really bad at describing anything at all, so don't listen to me. But then you get 2 matte liquid lipsticks. You get Sinful, which is this amazing indigo, I almost said bluish violet, but that would be indigo. And then you get this Unholy shade, which is a black liquid lipstick. So you get 4 shades for $12.90, but like I said, they're having, or last I checked, they're having a sale. So you get 4 lipsticks for that, which I think is a really good deal. I will say that the lip glosses by far are my favorites in the lip set. They are not sticky at all. They are super pigmented, that is for sure. But sometimes, you know, when you get those really highly pigmented lip glosses, they start sticking really bad. Like when you open your mouth, you'll get this like string of lip gloss that stretches, and it is the worst. You look like, I don't know, like some slime person or something from a horror movie, which is not terrible, but I'm not trying to be that right now. But like I said, they are not too thick. They're not slimy. They are not weird on the lips at all, which I love. They're almost silky. And I don't even know how to explain it. Really silky feeling. But I actually think these 2 lip glosses are worth the whole price of the package or the whole set. All right, so now on to the matte liquid lipsticks. I'm wearing the shade Unholy right now, the black matte liquid lipstick. You'll see as I am applying the liquid lipstick, it is very thin and you have to put on layers of this liquid lipstick to get an opaque finish, if that makes sense. I don't feel like it's flaking off. I don't feel like it's overly heavy, but I do feel like I did layer my liquid lipstick. Sometimes it can get a little bit sticky feeling. I think for the price, I mean, I'm not mad at it at all, because I mean, you're spending $13 for 4 lip colors and 2 of them are matte liquid lipsticks. Anyways, I definitely recommend this brand. If you guys haven't checked out their t-shirt designs, they're amazing. They've now earned a fan of their makeup line, and I'm really anxious to see what else they come out with in the future. I hope they continue their makeup journey, because I feel like this is very unique and for a very affordable price. So I love that. I will link everything down in the description box for you guys, including these palettes, this t-shirt, all the website links and everything like that, so you guys can check all this out if you want to. Anyways, 5,000 hours later, we're finally getting into the makeup tutorial. If you guys want to see how I got this makeup look I'm wearing today using this Black Craft eyeshadow palette and liquid lipstick, then just keep watching. All right, so first things first, I'm gonna go into the shade Amulet, which is a light gray shade. This is going to be our transition shade. I'm gonna work it into the inner and outer corner and into the crease area with this fluffy brush by BH Cosmetics. You can put this all over your lid if you want to. It's not gonna make a difference. I usually just do the inner and outer corner and the crease just because I want to get a shape going, and sometimes I'll start losing my shape when I just start slopping it all over. So, and you can see here that I continue to add the shade until I get a really nice light gray color. Using that same fluffy brush, I'm going to go into the shade Taro. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to dab this shade into the outer corner first. Just place it exactly where I want to. And then you'll see that I'm going to start almost like stippling or dabbing the shade all over the outer corner. And this just kind of gives more of an airbrushed effect in my experience with these bigger, fluffier brushes. And then once I get the shade exactly where I want it, then I will start blending it out and blending it into that crease area. And when I blend it into the crease, I'm kind of blending it straight into my brow area, as you can see right there. And then I'm going to go back into that shade and place it exactly where I did before and just slowly build up that blue color. Next, I'm going into the shade Moon Phases with a dense brush. This one's a Sigma E55 brush. I'm going to pack this straight onto the center of the lid. So not the inner or outer corners, just straight onto the center portion of the lid. I'm not spraying this with setting spray, but if you want a shimmery effect or more metallic look, spray the brush with setting spray before you do this step. Next, I'm going to go back into that shade Amulet, and I'm going to put this on the inner third of my lid and kind of blend it into that Moon Phases shade by just barely tapping it. Then using more of a detailed fluffy brush, I'm going to go back into the shade Taro, and I'm going to work this on the outer corner just to continue to build up that blue shade. I just really wanted it to look nice and not necessarily bright, because it's not really that bright of a shade, but I wanted it to look super pigmented there. It's almost going to look like this is more of a blue ombre effect going across my eyelid. Then you'll see I'll go back in with a fluffier brush as soon as I'm done placing this shade and just continue to blend it out so it doesn't look too harsh right there in the outer corner. Then to tightline, I'm going to use the Sephora waterproof retractable liner in the shade Black. I'm going to do that possessed method. You know how I do it. Then I'm going to go into the, what is this? NYX Epic Ink Liner, and I'm going to map out my wing first, and then I'm going to color it in. I call this the coloring book method. For mascara, I'm going to be using Urban Decay Troublemaker Mascara. I'm going to put this on my lashes like so. Going in with that fluffy brush and into the shade Taro, I'm going to run this across my lower lash line. If you do not like a super blown out look, you can definitely use a smaller detailer type of brush and just run this right up close to your lower lash line. Then I'm going to go into the shade Amulet and just soften the lower lash line and continue to blend it out. Going back into the shade Taro, I'm going to use a small little detailer kind of pencil brush and run this across my lower lash line just to give that pop of color. I'm also going to take that small fluffy detailer brush from this set and work this into the crease area and just amp up that color a little bit more. Then I'm going to take a white eyeshadow. This one's from the Kat Von D's Pastel Goth palette. And I'm going to place this in the inner corner for a little highlight and also on my brow bone for some highlight action. For lashes, I'm going to be using the Rouge and Rogue Cosmic Kitten lashes. I'm just going to place these on. Then for my lower lashes, I'm going to be going back into that Troublemaker Mascara by Urban Decay. For lips, I'm going to be using the matte liquid lipstick in the shade Unholy from that Black Craft lip set that I talked about earlier. I'm going to outline my lips first with a lip, what is this? Not pencil, brush, a lip brush. And I'm going to fill it in with the wand like so. This is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you can give it a thumbs up. Say hey girl, hey down in the comments box because you know I love talking to you. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching and I will see you guys next time.